These are the steps for starting your generator, which I'm going to go over right now. Remember, when turning on your breakers or adding a load to the generator, let the engine stabilize. Don't add load too quickly, and don't overload your generator. Make sure you have some good flashlights ready, work lights, headband lights, because you're probably going to be working in the dark. Also, make sure you have your gas detector and that the batteries are good. So you just push that red button and give it about 30 seconds and it'll calibrate. You got to be around fresh air when it's calibrating. Okay, when you hear those beeps and it does that, it's ready. This tool is not necessary, but it's an excellent way to check all your connections. I'll leave a link so you can see how to use it. Another thing you want to do is you've got to check the oil on the generator, and that's this little knob. You just unscrew this. Here's a picture from the manual, and you can see if your oil is touching the bottom few threads of the engine, you're in good shape. I let the generator rest for a couple hours a day. I always check the oil. If it needs a little, I put the funnel in there and top it off. You want to make sure your battery's in good shape before you need it so you don't have to manually start it. That's your quick connect, disconnect it, and then you're going to be connecting it to your charger. It's called a trickle charger. It's right there. That's your connect for the trickle charger. Just connect that, and there's your trickle charger. When that light goes from red to green, you are charged and ready to go. So the power has just gone off. That is your breaker to the city power coming in, and that is your breaker to the generator socket outside. Okay, they cannot be on at the same time. You have a special device that prevents that. So when the city power is on, that has to be off and vice versa. This is an interlock, and when you turn off the city power, okay, and once you turn off the city power, you move the interlock up, which will allow you to turn on the breaker socket outside. You move the interlock up. Now your breaker socket's on and your city power is off, and I'm gonna show you how to plug into the breaker box. You turn off all your breakers, obviously except for your generator socket, but all your breakers are off, and you'll turn them on slowly later. That's your generator socket, and we're gonna take a look at that right now. This is the cable that runs from the breaker box to the generator, which you're going to see right now. Okay, this is female and this is male. You can see if you look at this right here, it's got a special tong. Okay, and the way you want to put that in here is you make sure that goes in the back one, I believe. Yep, and then make sure that's in. It'll turn a tiny bit clockwise, just barely any. It's really important to loop the cord over here so it doesn't pull down on this. Okay. All right, and then you run this cord back to the generator. Stop it. However, you don't want to plug it into the generator yet, because if you haven't run the generator in a while, you got to run it for 5 minutes before you plug in the power. Make sure that your generator is turned on to the natural gas setting. You can see it's a blue flame there. So this is your quick connect right here. As you can see, your gas is off. It's the yellow thing. You leave that off until you're ready to start your generator. Okay, but you're going to connect your quick connect. Take this into your gas hose, pull that off, push that in, see that, push that in, and then it snaps like that. Okay, and you got a good seal, you'll hear it snap. And we'll do a gas test on that later. Now right now the gas line we have is very short. It's got to go under here like this, so the garage will be able to close, and you can see it only goes to here. So that's where we're going to put our generator. The quick connect here is the same, it's just opposite. This is on the hose. You pull this back like this until it snaps. Okay, I'm going to turn on the gas now. So the gas is on, gas is flowing through this. Okay, so gas is flowing. I'm on natural gas here. We've got our quick connect up, the gas is on over there. So we're ready to turn on the generator. If you look over here, here's the choke. Okay, right now the choke is in the run position. I'm going to start it and I'm going to move it all the way over to the left, the choke position. Sometimes you have to fiddle with the choke a little bit. What I do when I'm starting it electronically is I start it on the left with the choke on, and I just wait for a little kick. And then I move it to the run position and it usually starts, and you'll be able to see that in this example here. But I'm going to move it right to the run position once it starts. Actually, sometimes it won't start in the choke position. If it doesn't start in the choke position, just move it to the run position. It'll probably start. The generator's been running for 5 minutes. It's warm. All the breakers are off. So we're going to plug in the power. Again, All right, so you now have power coming to the breaker box, but all the breakers are off. Now in this example, I'm turning on the breakers way too fast. Don't do it this way. Now you've already turned off all your big appliances in the house, with exception of things like the refrigerator or the freezer, but your AC's off, you're not running your microwave or your washer or something like that. So it's time to turn on your breakers, but you have to do it slowly to allow the generator engine to stabilize. Each time you add a heavy load, give the generator a second or a few seconds for the engine to stabilize, maybe 30 seconds. Turn your breakers on one by one. You can start with the heavier loads like your refrigerator, and each load, like I said, each load you add, give your generator a second to stabilize, and then you turn on the next one. The AC and the furnace both have to be on for the AC to work. When you go inside and turn on your AC, give it a minute or so, let that generator adjust, because that's your heaviest load by far. That's about it. You're good to go. All right, let's talk turning off the generator. So you want to make sure your AC is off, you're not running any major appliances like a dishwasher or washing machine. You go out to the generator and you unplug all the electrical loads from the generator. Okay, obviously your refrigerator might still be running, but just unplug everything from the generator, so nothing's plugged into the generator. After that, you just go over to the hot water heater and turn off your fuel valve. So when you turn off the generator, the way you do it is you turn off the fuel. So I'm just going to turn off the fuel, and you'll see it'll shut down the generator. Once the generator has been shut down, you can go to the circuit breaker box, turn off all your breakers, and then turn off your generator breaker, which will also mean turning on the city power. And once the city power is on, you can turn on all your breakers, and you are good to go. So this is a little addendum about the generator we have down at Grandma's, which is a little bit different. Everything else is the same procedure, everything, but there are a few little tweaks. This is also an example of a manual start, because the battery on this generator is dead. So on this generator, you can see this is an adapter for natural gas. It's got your quick connect here. Again, when you use these, it's always a good idea to use the gas detector to just make sure your connections are good. You're going to do everything the same. You're going to turn, once this is plugged in, you can turn on your gas. This little button right here is a primer. Now this engine is cold. Now whenever you do a manual start, your choke is always going to be in the run position on this generator when you're using natural gas. Now once the gas is on and you're ready to go, you're going to prime it, and you do it by pumping this. And you take a look at this. I'm going to pump this, I don't know, 5-6 times. I actually did it 8 times there, but that's pretty well primed. Okay, the choke is already in the run position. So I check the choke, make sure it's in the run position. Now another thing you want to do is make sure your LPG valve is off when you do this. This is if your battery's dead, and you're going to manual start. And as you can see, it started up pretty easy. And this generator actually runs great on natural gas. So all the other procedures are the same with this generator as the other one. Thanks for watching, folks. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.